Hey guys, it's Brent back again, S.L.A.M.scents here with another fragrance review. Today I'm going to be doing a review on the house of Christian Dior, and the fragrance that I'm going to be reviewing is Dior Homme Parfum. Now, this is a pretty popular fragrance in the fragrance community. It's been talked about a lot on the internet and on the web. And so, of course, I wanted to throw my hat into the fray, give you guys my 2 cents about this scent and what I think it is and how it unfolds on my skin. Now, before I get into the review, though, I want to send a special shout out to the people over at Notino.com. Notino.com is a great website for all your fragrance needs. They have great discounted prices on niche and designer fragrances. So I implore you all, if you need to shop for a new fragrance, please go to Notino.com to do so. Now, guys, without any further ado, let's get into the review. Now, this scent was released in 2014. It is from the house of Christian Dior. The perfumer is Francois de Machi. What are the notes in Dior Homme Parfum? The top notes are Tuscan iris. The heart notes are Sri Lankan sandalwood and rose absolutes. The base notes are leather, vanilla, ambrette, and cedarwood. Now, guys, I'm going to be quite honest with you. I was skeptical of even getting my nose on Dior Homme Parfum because of the success of DHI. DHI was such a phenomenal scent that I thought to myself, why would I even need anything else in the Dior Homme collection? Because it's hard to improve upon a design like Dior Homme Intense. But once I was able to get my nose on this fragrance, I was glad that I did, so that I can draw some comparison and some contrast to kind of see what direction Christian Dior was going in with this particular fragrance. Now, there are 3 wise men in the fragrance community, and I like to call those Dior Homme, Dior Homme Intense, and Dior Homme Parfum. Now, in alcohol, you have the 3 wise men, which are Jack Daniels, Jim Beam, and Paul Masson. Okay, so I liken this to that particular ideology as it relates to fragrance. But at any rate, so what I get from Dior Homme Parfum, guys, when you first apply it to your skin, you get that iris note, okay? That iris note that's much maligned, much discussed, the makeup bag scent, if you will. You're gonna get that note up top. And then very quickly, I'd say after about maybe 20 minutes or so, it transitions into a rose scent. And that rose is extremely prominent, guys. That rose is very prominent in this scent. As a matter of fact, that's what I get mainly throughout the life of this scent, is that middle note of the rose absolutes. I'm not quite sure how I feel about it. It's just not as tantalizing for me as the vanilla and chocolate is in Dior Homme Intense. Not to say that it's a bad note, not to say that people aren't going to appreciate the rose smell, but for me, it just wasn't what I was expecting. So there that is. As it transitions into the base notes, you kind of pick up a tiny amount of woods, just a tiny amount of woods and a little bit of oud, but it's not as prominent to me as the rose in the middle. So essentially what you get here is the iris on top. It's going to transition into that rose in the middle, and then as it dries down into the base hours later, and I'm talking about many more hours later, guys, this is a parfum concentration, thus the name Dior Homme Parfum. So you will get 10 hours plus from this scent easily. So you may want to go light on the sprays with this one. I would say maybe 3 sprays, 2 to the chest, 1 to the neck, and you'll be set. But again, the rose in the middle is predominantly what I get from this fragrance. So depending on how much you like rose will determine how much you appreciate this scent. Now, what's the season and purpose for Dior Homme Parfum? I thought fall and winter was the season and purpose for this one. This is a heavy parfum, so you're probably only gonna apply this in the cooler months. You're gonna wanna go light on the sprays, guys. Again, go light on the sprays on this one because is that that parfum concentration is very prominent. What's the Achilles heel of this scent? What did I not like about this scent? I don't think that it transitions as well as Dior Homme Intense. I think that in Dior Homme Intense, I'm able to smell each phase of the fragrance, and all of them are so masterfully blended. Well, in Dior Homme Parfum, I essentially only smell the top notes of iris in the middle of the rose, and that's pretty much it. and you get that rose throughout the life of the fragrance. And for me, it just wasn't as enticing and enveloping as what I get in DHI. So if I had to give this scent a knock, that would be it. In terms of performance, longevity for this fragrance, 10 hours plus. 10 hours plus, no question. This is going to last you all day, probably well into the night. So, be mindful of that when you spray this particular fragrance, because the longevity is beast mode, no question. Ciliage, you're probably going to get about 3 feet of ciliage on this one, so you will leave a scent cloud around you. People are going to smell you, and they're going to ask you what you're wearing. So keep that in mind when you're considering purchasing this fragrance. Projection, probably about 4 to 5 hours. I think you're going to have strong projection. Strong projection. And then after that, of course, it's going to die down. It's still going to be around you. People are still going to smell it, but it's just not going to be as strong as when you first applied it. So about 4 to 5 hours of strong projection, but it's still going to be there, guys. Don't misunderstand me. It's still going to be there, but just not as prominent as when you first spray it. Uniqueness of this scent, I don't think it's very unique. I think that lots of scents do the rose, the oud, and the leather. This is just Christian Dior's take on it. And I think the iris is kind of what sets it apart from some of its other competitors in the same genre. But I don't see this as a very unique scent. In terms of versatility, I don't think it's going to be very versatile. This is probably going to be reserved for those after 5, those dates, and those formal occasions. I mean, that's pretty much it. We all know that you can wear a scent anytime you want, but when this is going to be best used is probably for formal after 5 date. So in terms of versatility, I can't say that it's an extremely versatile scent. Would I buy this fragrance? Guys, yes. In order to have all 3 of the wise men and complete the Dior Homme collection, I would definitely purchase this scent. Did this scent wow me? No, it didn't. Because again, there are other fragrances in this genre that kind of do this same thing, and I think do it a little bit better. Again, in this scent, the rose is so prominent. That is mainly what I get throughout the life of this scent, is the middle note of rose. And for me, rose just isn't my favorite scent. It's not my favorite note in cologne or perfume. So I wasn't wowed by this fragrance, but I do like what it does. If you're looking for something that's a little more resinous, a little more dark, a little more rich than DHI, then this is going to be the scent for you, Dior Homme Parfum. So with that being said, this is a great scent to have. It does give you beast mode projection. It does give you great ciliage and longevity, but for me, it just isn't a love, it's more of a like. Thanks again, guys, for tuning in. This is Brent, again, S.L.A.M.scents. I'm gonna leave a link in the description box below for Notino.com if any of you want to purchase this fragrance or any other fragrance that you're thinking of. Have a great day, guys, and I'll see you next time.